Good morning, creators, and welcome to another UEFN tutorial. In this video, you're going to learn how to create custom doors that open or slide open that are walls that you can place around. It's a very simple and easy tutorial. If you haven't seen the previous tutorial where I discussed custom builds, you can check it out in the card above or in the description below. Without further ado, let's get into it. So here we are in UEFN. And just like in the previous tutorial, we're going to explore the gray box to find these presets that we can work with. So I go to walls, and there are a lot of doors here. For the sake of keeping this tutorial relatively short, I'm going to pull out a sliding door, and I'm going to pull out a double door. So the double door is going to open up as you expect a door to normally open up, and the sliding door, of course, is going to slide in opposite directions. I'm going to change these materials just for visibility purposes. So I'm going to material down here. Just go ahead and change these so you can see the doors a little bit better. And so you'll see the normal doors have two doors that face inwards, and the sliding doors have two doors that face outwards. Now, if you go into these settings, you'll see that the normal doors have the same mesh for both of these doors. It's as set name door R. I assume R here means right, but the sliding door has left and right doors. And what distinguishes left from right here is the rotation. So I'm going to show you how to model a door that you can use here. So I'm going to use a cube, and I think the width was, just so I can put it close here and get a good idea here. I think the width was 144. The depth I'm going to do 16. That's just kind of what I prefer. Just move this closer. Yeah, 144 looks about right for that. And then height, I'm just going to slide until I get to something that looks generally good. 216. I'll do 216. And so that's going to be my door mesh. I'll go ahead and assign a material to it. We'll just do like a brick so I can see that. Okay. I'm going to go to my content browser so I can go into the details on the right here. And then hit this search icon. I'm just going to rename this to door R, meaning the right door. Now, how do you make sure this is a right door? Well, it all has to do with your rotation. This red arrow here needs to be pointing inwards in the direction of the door. So first thing I'm going to do is rotate this. Since the red arrow is pointing perpendicularly, I want it to rotate in the other direction, 90 degrees to the clockwise direction. So I am going to rotate this 90 degrees, go into modeling mode, and then I am going to bake transform, wherever that is. It should be an X form, bake transform, and this will bake the rotation. So now the red arrow is pointing in the correct direction. But the pivot of this door is incorrect. The pivot needs to be in the corner so that everything is cooperating. The corner is going to be the outer corner. So looking at this door right here, you're going to want a corner that faces the wall. Pivot there. And then for the sliding doors, you want your pivot to face the center. Your pivot should be at the center of a sliding door. And the good thing about this is you can use the same mesh for the right doors, and you'll just have to rotate it for the left doors. So we'll make a pivot. Right now, vertically, we're just at 0, so I can easily just do one of these buttons till one looks good. Looks like front is what we want in this rotation. And then I want the pivot to be at the bottom of where the door is, so that the pivot point is correct there. So we can accept that, and this should be the right door. And just for a test, we're going to put this in here, and I don't think it updates, so I might have to create a blueprint to view. But I'll go ahead and search this so I can just pull it in right here. Yeah, it doesn't look like it updates in the editor, so I'm just going to create a blueprint copy. Same thing from the previous tutorial. We're going to create a child blueprint class. Go to custom builds, and then we're going to call this tutorial double door. All right, we're going to go into there, open it up. And this is just an aside from the previous tutorial. When you're in the blueprint editor, you do get access to the attachment settings. So you go to building. It has a bunch of building types, and this defines how it's attached to the structures around it. So you have the corner and floor, wall, and I believe these are the settings that determine that attachment. But you can't edit that if you're using the gray box blueprint directly from the content browser. But if you create a child blueprint class, you can definitely change that here. Still better to just create a child than edit the settings there, because you might get confused. Now here I want to change the doors. Once again, I'm going to change the material of this door so that I can visualize a little bit better. All right. In here, we're going to change the door. So we're going to search door and put door right in here. And door right here. And you'll see it updates. So now we have both of these doors. So I'm going to place this down. You'll see those doors look pretty good. We're going to do double door as well, and then we are going to test out in game, make sure that this is proper. So we go in here, find our walls, find the sliding door, and we'll call this the tutorial sliding door. And then we're going to go back here, open it up. I'm going to change the material so I can view it better. And then we need to change the meshes. So we can change the right one because we have the right door, right? But we don't have the left door. So how do we do a left door? Well, left door is the same thing. And there are two ways you can bake this transform. You can either reflect the mesh, and that depends on if your UVs are different on both sides or you have different textures on both sides. It might be better to flip this. So I think if you do in the X direction, -1, that'll flip it. It'll actually flip it. Or you could rotate it, which is the simpler method. Just rotate it 180 degrees. And now you got to bake it so that the red arrow points in the opposite direction of the door. So for a right door, the red arrow points into the door. For a left door, the red arrow points out of the door. So we're going to go in here and we're going to bake our transform so that the rotation is baked. You see on the side here, your rotation is going to be 0 on that yaw, and the red arrow is going to point outwards. So this is your left door. Actually, I baked that into the right door, so I have to undo that real quick. That's my left door. And then I need to undo that. So I'll bake again. So now my right door is that, and my left door is the opposite. So I can go into the sliding door and then add the left door. And here's where adjustments might need to be done. It looks good. And all these settings are going to be consistent. But just for testing purposes, I'm going to check in. And while we're waiting on the session to load, I'm going to show you how I implemented the spiral doors, which have a different door shape, and obviously they do not touch the ground. So I think that's important. The spiral material has UVs that are very specific, so I had to create, I think, 3 sets of doors a left door, a right door, and then a right door that had a variation where the UVs were correct, so it gets the full spiral effect. So if I pull out my frame, just put it on the grid somewhere. I'll pull out the right door here, and you'll see that it's the pivot is correct. But if I were to pull out, if I were to like rotate this, I think that the distance was something weird because it's a different size, but I'll just drag it like this. You'll see that it creates this kind of heart shape effect instead of the spiral. So I had to create a second variation of the right door that would let me have those UVs. The left door, same kind of thing. Red arrow points in the opposite direction, and it's pretty simple there. I did recall I had to actually important before I move on. Another important thing. Notice that the pivot points of the door is where that pivot would need to be for the frame. So it's not at the very bottom of the mesh. You'll notice there's a gap here because the bottom is where the bottom of the door is going to be. And that's why I had to do the pivot there. In the settings for this build, I believe I had to change things up because in game they were a little weird. So if you just look at these settings and anything looks different, just know that like the right door and the left door, I had to flip on the slider to get it working properly. And so let's just hop in game and then see how this looks. All right, so here we are in game, and first we're gonna open up the normal doors, double doors. You'll see they have the right pivot that we want, and they open up in the direction that we want. Now the sliding doors, if you walk up to them, are gonna automatically open up just as you want. So super simple, very simple process that creates some really awesome effects. Now there's obviously a lot of other kinds of walls that have doors, and there's a lot of other settings that you might want to look into. So they have a door opening sound, closing sound, slammed open sound, which is when you sprint into a door. These are things that you can integrate into your blueprints to create a unique effect. So if you have wooden doors, maybe create a wooden door closing sound. If you have a sci-fi door, you probably want to have a sci-fi sound when it slides open. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities here, and super simple. So if you enjoyed the tutorial, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, and following along in the future tutorials. I hope you have a great day and good luck creating.